Hello, hello, hello again, everybody. Welcome to another session. Today is the 27th, last last Thursday of the month. It's been a crazy ride, but thank you everybody for joining me tonight. And just a reminder to everybody that this session is hosted most Tuesdays and Thursdays evenings. So please join me every Tuesday and Thursday, and let's share our thoughts on the market, and not just so much mine, but everybody has an input. Feel free to come in and say hi and share what you think that it's gonna happen. All right, let's get right into it. Let's look at the heat map. You can see today is pretty mixed across the board. You know, Tuesday when we looked at this, we had things like communication services, information technology, consumer discretionary, healthcare. They were all red. The only ones that are still green, that were still green, was energy and a little bit of utilities. But you can see we have a fair number of greens all across the board, and we have a few red ones, including Tesla today, right? A few of our technology stock are semiconductors over here, this sector, right? Pretty red. It's been a crazy week. I don't know if you guys are short-term traders, but short-term traders, you are probably taking advantage of the market volatility. If you are long only like I am, you're probably hurting a little bit. But stay put. Remember, if you are long term, stick to your long term. Don't let these short term swings get you. Yes, there might be a few months, weeks, years that the market could go down or stay flat. But remember, if you have a long time horizon, the market is pretty positive, given 5-10 years out. So you have that in you have that for you. And also, if you are long term, remember that your growth is based upon what your input. So as the market goes down, remember you can average down and help purchase more shares. So let's dive right into the charts. We have SPY here. You see SPY is still hugging its 200. You could say this little range here, right? It's a little bit above it, but moreover, SPY is, oh, let me get my pen. You see SPY is hovering this area, right? Now, the big question everybody is thinking of is, will we go down more? Now, that's a question that I probably cannot answer. I don't think anyone can answer. But one thing to keep in mind is we're trading in this tight range here from around 430 to 1440. So for the last week, we've been in this range. Monday we did get that huge wick down, but we came right back into this range. So we're sitting in between 430 and 440 right now. So that's one thing to keep in mind. And as we go into the market tomorrow, to also watch for, right? So diving down into the hourly, we can see that too, right? We'll see more of this range. So this is since Monday, right? Monday we had that huge swing in the morning, and we pretty much stayed flat to it, right? So you can see here, this right here, and today, right here. So the FOMC meeting yesterday, even though they did give good news, just overall the market, maybe a lot of it is just overvalue at the moment, and so there's a lot of things that are contributing to why the market isn't moving to the upside, right? Now, when the Feds, they are talking about getting out of the market, and what they basically said on Wednesday was that, hey, we're not going to get out of the market just yet, or we're not going to get out any sooner than what we plan to. And that is a bullish sign, but that they're not doing anything yet or anything earlier. But it's also telling us that a lot of that is coming in the future. So we want to be very careful as we go into the later part of the year. But if you're long only like I am, look at those as opportunities to purchase more, right? Blessing in disguise, right? So that's SPY, right? And I want to see if tomorrow we will break out of this range, right? We were, the range that we were trading in between here. Oh, pen's going crazy. Technical difficulties. Okay. Oh, come on. Okay. So this range. So I want to see what we do tomorrow. If we're gonna come back and test the resistance, or we're just gonna stay right in the middle. Right. One thing to look out for tomorrow, Friday. And a lot of the declines that has been happening lately is been pre-market before we can even do anything. We do have some crazy swings throughout the day, but the bulk of the move is usually pre-market. So one thing to keep in mind also as we go into Friday, because that means that we are open to a lot of hurt over the weekend if we have positions that we just open. Right, so be careful there. Today, let's look at our one of our big losers today with 11%, Tesla. Now, Tesla had its earning report yesterday, and the earnings was pretty good. So it was probably quite a bit of surprise to people to see Tesla fall down as much as it did today, right? So coming down to right where its 200 is, right around here, right around here is 200. But with that, we want to see if it can hold it. Right. So tomorrow, I want to see if it could come back up, peak above it, stay here. And now, I was thinking that the first quarter of this year wasn't going to be as rough as it was. My prediction was that it stays sort of in this range, that we don't go any crazier than what we've already had. But as you can see, the market is pretty unpredictable. Sometimes it's just when a sell-off happens, everything just follows suit. And we can also have runs that continue to run for a while, right? So a big support area that was broken today on SPY, oh no, not SPY, but Tesla was 850, right? This 850 level right here, because the reason why it's a big support area was that's where we bounced from on Monday. So right here, and we broke through here. So now we're looking to see if this is being treated as resistance, or if it could come back up here and maybe we retest 1000 again. But at the moment, I'm pretty sure everybody is as scared. So we go back to the one saying that you keep hearing around, and that is be greedy when others are fearful, and be fearful when others are greedy. Right now, this is the start. So I wouldn't say be completely greedy yet, because not everybody is fearful at the moment. Some people are fearful, not everybody. So don't mistaken that saying to mean, hey, we saw a little red in the market and just buy. No, this a bear market could extend itself and last a few months, right? It could be anywhere between 8 months to 2 years out that we have a bear market. Right? Bear market is when we don't really see any incline in the market. We just sort of slowly step down. But from what we've seen in the last few days, we've been pretty much taking an elevator down, getting hit hard. Right? So Tesla took a big hit today. Today's earning report, today's stock that had an earning report was Apple. So Apple was actually holding pretty well, right? As it always does. You see here, this area and this area here seems to still be holding really well. And you can see from in the past year what Apple has been doing. But Apple also didn't have that violent of gains this year, right? A gaining of last year. I mean, 2021, right? Earnings report. You can see this was the result of the earning report. Good earnings made it shoot up. Now, curious to see what happens tomorrow, right? The last big tech that that had an earning report that was good was also Microsoft, which is still holding its gains. So I'm curious to see what it does. Maybe this could be the end of this broken cycle. Now, one thing to also note is that when we go into a market decline, it seems like Apple is one of the few that gets hurt the least, right? We look at 2020, right? We see this right here, 2020, 2018, 2019, this right here, this right here. Right, this is the monthly chart. And comparison to something, let's compare it to something like Tesla, right? Tesla had a pretty crazy too. Right. So this was just after COVID, but COVID, it went below its 50 monthly, right? And then so it was just basically flat from beyond there. But that's something to keep in mind, that Apple is one of the ones that stay pretty solid, right? And it's also Microsoft. As you can see, Microsoft had it had its earnings on Tuesday or Tuesday or Wednesday, one of them days, but it shot up and it's holding above it's both holding above its 200. So and, that's something that's very you have to keep that in mind. It's very good to see holding that 200, not breaking down below it. But as every other stock in the stock market right now, it's not looking so great for it down in our hourly. You can see the decline hasn't been as rough with in the last few days, but we're still sort of in the range, right? So you see here the decline the last 2 weeks, and then the last few days was in this range, right? The upper half of this range, but we're still in the range, right? Yeah. So one thing to keep in mind. Since the market has been so crazily throughout the each and every day, my only suggestion for you guys who are shorter term trader is don't question what you see. If you see it, go with it. Right? Don't try to play it so far out ahead, right? If you can we were seeing moves like $11 every couple minutes, 10, 20 minutes. We see $11 swing up, $11 swing down. Just play with that. Don't try to do anything crazy. Don't try to hold for big gains. The volatility is giving you the gains. Also, be very careful too. Right? Volatility is what kills people. Right? Give you great gains, but it can also break you. Right? Let's also look at AMD. One of the semiconductors, they're not holding well today. Took big hits down below its 200. Now, I'm curious to see where it will go, because where this was the last bounce, right, back in September before it had its breakout here. So it's already at that support again. Now, I'm curious to see if it will continue to use that as support. So being that it's going to be maybe in here, this range, this O range here that it was in from this period of time. Or if we break down even further, right? If we break down even further, we could probably go all the way down to here. But we have to keep a look at it. I can't predict the future neither. Your guess is as good as mine. All we can do is just analyze what's happening and try to make a play from it. And me being a longer term trader, I'm viewing this as a good thing. I'm saving as much as I can so I can buy a few shares every time it goes down a little bit, just averaging down a little bit, because my horizon for profit is probably a few years out, 5, 10 years. Not really thinking about the short-term gains of everything. Right? Keep that in mind. We also look at NVIDIA under its 200 again. Right? So curious to see if this 200, when it goes down to 200, if it will hold. Monday we saw a swing that nearly touched it, right? All the way down to around 208, 207. Right? We'll see if 200 will hold and where it will establish, if it will establish a range or if it'll continue going down. Now, if you were someone like me who got into NVIDIA way back in May, you're probably not that hurt yet, right? It hasn't touched on any of those gains. But if you have gotten into NVIDIA out here, hopefully you have set a stop and just took that little hit, because if you held through it, you were stubborn, you held through it, you would have been hurt, right? So this is the times like this is the reasons why a stop is needed, right? Especially if your time horizon is in the very near future. But if your time horizon is like 20, 30, 20, 10, 20 years out, even 5 years out, I think you should be okay. Something with a mega tech like this, right? NVIDIA. We look at our little friend SoFi, just taking a beating, but it's not the only one. Every high beta, every stock that was basically that came out within the last IPO within the last year, they're all getting hit. None of them are really making any new gains. The type of market that we're in right now, it's very difficult for these to hold their gains, especially if even the mega techs, the big blue chips are not holding their gains. These are usually the first ones that people cut from their portfolio if they need to make a cut. They usually hold on to the mega techs and then the blue chips and the more established companies out there before they do these. So it's still, I mean, the lower it goes, it eventually will hit some bottom, but stocks like this, like I always mention, is stocks that you throw in money and just consider that money gone. Don't even think about it, because we don't know how long it will take for these guys to make a name for themselves, because they might be revolutionary in their way of thinking, their technology or whatever, but it's going to take them a while for it to catch on. And it's not going to be something that's going to be an overnight success or a year or two in the making, right? We can look at something like Tesla, and even that took 5-10 years before it got to where it was now. So it is going to be if you're in a stock like this, like SoFi, like SoFi, which a stock that I am invested in and I do really like. I still believe that it is going to take a long time before they can truly make it. A lot of headwinds, a lot of attentions that they have to get. Right? But be patient in it. We never know what's going to happen. Maybe it could be surprising for you, right? With maybe not 10 years, maybe 5 or something years, or maybe 2 years. The stock has a breakthrough in the technology and just skyrockets, right? And just continue taking market share and becomes a leader in it. You don't know. And that's why it's also worth gambling a little. But the bulk of your investment should be in big, well-known companies that are stable or growing at the moment. Right? All right. And one last one, TSM. Now, TSM, they're one of the big names in semiconductor, right? So this is why we're taking a look at them. And right now, it looked like there was a breakout, but man, that just got taken out double top. You can even look, right? A huge not a huge, but a long double top, right? From way back here, right? So it's back into this range right here. Let's see if 115 holds, right? 115 was support from before. Let's see if it holds. There's a number of times where it bled through, but the bulk of it stayed above 115. So watch that. But for the time being, just continue to monitor it. I would say TSM on a normal in the normal market didn't move that much, so it's not so prone or not so liked by day traders. Day traders, you like something that is really fluid and also moves a lot, has a lot of delta moves. But TSM isn't. TSM is more of a, hey, buy it and hold it for a while because they are a leader in what they do. So with that, I'm gonna close it. I'm gonna try and keep all these sessions really shorter because I do realize that when I do have the longer sessions, people don't usually have that much time. So I've been trying this format out and keeping it as short as possible. But if you guys do have any questions, feel free to message me or leave it in the comments. I for sure do read all my comments and will reply back. If you have any more questions that are more need more exploring, feel free to join our Discord group. The link is always in the description. Join that, come chat with us. We're there. There's always somebody there to answer questions in the text channel. We're always in there during market hours, in the voice channel, so you come chat with us in there. A lot of different traders, swing traders, day traders, investors. Come chat with us. I know it gets pretty boring when you trade by yourself, and also it has you can't grow as fast. So check out the Discord. I hope that you guys are getting some value out of my sessions that I do host like this. And if there's any questions, feel free to reach out to me. Once again, I host these sessions every Tuesday and Thursday nights. So please come back and join me. And also, if you haven't already, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. And I hope to see you in the future. Stay safe and make some money in the market. Have a good night, everybody. Bye.